One morning, I woke up.
Hey, let's have some fun with your musical knowledge. Déjà Vu was the second album by the powerhouse trio Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but now with a newly recruited member, Neil Young, as well. Even if you were too young back then, I'll bet that you probably know a lot of the songs on this album quite well. But do you think you know them well enough to spot fake statements about them? Here's your chance to test your musical knowledge. We'll review the tracks in no particular order, and I'll present a statement about that track. You'll have 5 seconds to decide if the statement is fact or fake. Ready? Let's go! First, let's do a general thing. Fact or fake? The dog on the album cover art wasn't real. It was edited into the picture at the request of Stephen Stills. This statement is fake. The dog was real. Actually, it was just a neighborhood dog that wandered up during the shoot. The photo was taken by photographer Tom O'Neill under his pseudonym at the time, Tom Gundelfinger, in the backyard of Crosby's rental house north of San Francisco near the town of Novato. For the shoot, at the request of Stills, O'Neill tried using an authentic wooden box camera similar to those that they used in the 1860s. But the over 2-minute exposure time requiring absolute stillness of everyone and everything made the 2 attempted exposures worthless. The actual image on the album came from backup exposures that O'Neill made with a modern camera while waiting for the antique camera to take exposures. Now let's look at some tracks.
Carry on.
Side 1, track 1, Carry On. Fact or fake? Instead of being the first track, the song was originally going to be the album's last track as a thematic sign-off. The statement is fake. It was specifically designed as the album opener. In spite of that, it was the last song recorded for the album. Prompted by a last-minute concern from Graham Nash on Tuesday, November 4th, 1969, about the album not yet having a catchy opener, Stephen Stills cobbled together Carry On overnight in his hotel room. He did it from 2 songs, one being an unfinished piece, Carry On, and the second being a slightly modified version of the song Questions, written by Stills and already recorded once by Buffalo Springfield for their 1968 final album, Last Time Around. The next morning, Stills played the resulting mashup in Nash's hotel room, and he loved it. The guys recorded it on that day, November 5th, 1969. By the way, the first iconic track contains no contribution at all from Neil Young.
24 years ago,
Let's flip to side 2, track 3, 4 and 20. Fact or fake? When Stephen Stills wrote 4 and 20, he had intended it to be used for his upcoming solo album, but Crosby and Nash convinced him to put it on the Déjà Vu album instead. This statement is fact. 4 and 20 is the only song on Déjà Vu that is entirely a solo effort. Stephen Stills played it and sang it live in a single take. After deciding to put it on the album, Stills anticipated that Crosby and Nash would contribute vocal harmonies, but when he asked them to do that, they both refused. In David Crosby's words, "We just said, it's too damn good. We're not touching it." Let's go back to side 1, track 2, Teach Your Children. Fact or fake? Jerry Garcia's pedal steel solo parts were recorded as independent separate riffs, which were later clipped and individually edited into the recording. This is a fact. Graham Nash's demo version was in straight time without the country-style swing that was imparted by Stills.
Teach your children well.
Once the style was established, David Crosby asked Jerry Garcia, who was in an adjacent studio by chance, if he would play some pedal steel parts on the recording. Jerry agreed, on the condition that the Grateful Dead received some vocal coaching on a couple of their recordings. So he recorded each of the short riffs independently, and they were subsequently spliced into the master tape at the proper places.
Too late
How about Side 2, Track 4, Country Girl, Fact or Fake? This 3-movement song is credited to Neil Young, but in fact, 2 of the movements were not his.
Hold it. I think you're going to like this picture.
This statement is fake. Each movement was penned by Young, but not in one sitting. The first movement, Whiskey Boot Hill, was based on a piece that was principally written in 1967.
Winding paths through tables and glass.
The second movement, Down, 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 was written but unreleased while Young was a member of Buffalo Springfield.
Come to see her in the river. She'll be
The third movement is actually titled Country Girl.
country girl. I think you're pretty.
This assembled track suffers the same fate as some other mashups. Because of the disjointed origins of the lyrics in each of the movements, many listeners found the meaning of the track to be very elusive. Did he leave the girl that was causing him grief and then found a country girl that was the girl of his dreams? Or did he just stick 3 song fragments together so that he could use up 5 minutes and 5 seconds on the backside of an album? I don't know, actually. If you think that you think there's a continuity to the lyrics in this track, please do us a favor and post your analysis, because this is one I can't figure out. Let's go back to Side 1, Track 5, Woodstock, Fact or Fake. Even though Joni Mitchell wrote the song and the CSNY version was on this record, Jimi Hendrix and the Band of Gypsies were the first to record it.
Oh, far out.
This is a fact. Jimi Hendrix and the Band of Gypsies made a recording of this song on September 30th, 1969, barely over a month after the Woodstock Festival about which the song was written, and almost 6 weeks before the CSNY recording or the Joni Mitchell recording. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young recorded this song in November of '69. Joni released her version in March of 1970, pretty much at the same time that Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young's single came out. But she recorded that single in 1970. The personnel list on her recording, by the way, included Stephen Stills on organ and Jimi Hendrix on bass guitar. This is the end of Part 1. Please feel free to comment if you have additional information or if you find me making an error. Of course, I never make any errors, so I'm sure you won't have anything there to mention, of course. You can also use comments to suggest video subject matter regarding pop music and pop music culture between the 1950s and the 1970s. And hey, if you haven't already done so, please click on that thumbs up like icon and the subscribe button on YouTube or the follow button on Facebook. It's easy and free, and it shows YouTube and Facebook that you support the channel. If you would like the opportunity to see content a few days before the general public, then you can upgrade your subscription on the YouTube channel by joining the channel, or upgrade your follow on the Facebook page by becoming a subscriber. Thanks a million to everybody, and we'll see you on Part 2 about this album.